Welcome to Uplevel, Real Health, Real Talk with Dr. Jenna Blasi. I'm Dr. Jenna. I spent years crafting ways to help women thrive, and I want to help you do the same. On this podcast, we dive deep into health at every level, focusing on the mind, the body, and the spirit. This is where real conversations meet transformational wellness. We'll be talking about all the things that truly matter, from nutrition and fitness to lifestyle, mindset, and personal development. Plus, the real deal on managing stress and navigating menopause. So if you're ready to elevate your health journey with authentic, transformative insights, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to Uplevel. Last 2 episodes coming up. End of year. So I'm Dr. Jenna, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We are going to do a year-end reflection ritual, looking at our growth and what this year has taught us. So it's a little softer, maybe a little more grounded. I want this to be a gentle exercise about presence and clarity. There's so much as we end the year and go into January of new year, new you, which by the way, I don't believe in new you. Like we can do an up-leveled version, the best version of us, but it's the new year, new you. I don't know. That just doesn't really resonate with me. But the truth is that we absolutely can step into an amazing new year, our best ever, but we can't really do this powerfully until we've really understood what this past year has given you. So today, and I apologize for my voice, we've had a bit of a dust storm in my office and it went up my nose and in my mouth. And so I'm not sick, but holy cow with this dust. Anyway, today I'm going to guide you through a simple sort of transformative reflection ritual that will reset your nervous system, clear that mental clutter, and help you carry forward only what aligns with your next chapter. Okay, this isn't fluffy. It's not about performing. It's just you, like grab your journal. It's not a checklist. It's just, my hope is it's an energetic clearing. Like, let's really look at what this last year has provided, clear what doesn't serve us, so you can step into January with more intention, more certainty, and that inner calm and steadiness in a way that you haven't before. So, for our first moment, just take a breath. If you're driving, don't close your eyes, but just take a breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw, let it go. Let it unclench. Let your mind quiet just a little bit. You've made it through another year. I know this has been an interesting year for a lot of people. And when we look at making it through another year, this is the lessons, the pivots, growth, decisions that have shaped you, breakthroughs, healing, grief, discomfort, but also resilience. Quiet moments that maybe you're proud of. Quantum leaps maybe that you've had. And if you're listening to this podcast, you are someone who chooses growth on purpose. Let's honor that. If you're listening to this podcast, you are moving yourself forward. You're aimed at growth. You're aimed at being intentional, and that's phenomenal. So let's honor that. All right, first part, let's look at what this year has taught you. All right, I'm going to give you one reflection at a time. So again, if you're in a place where you can grab a journal, if you're driving or walking, just listen. And if you're sitting somewhere quiet, pause, breathe, and journal as we go through this. Okay, first reflection question. A lot of times when we do these reflections, there's obviously lots of different ways to do them. We can look back on what were our accomplishments, what are we most proud of, where did we step through discomfort, where did we face fear, where were we lost in our excuses? What were big adversities we overcame? What are big successes we had? Like there's lots of ways to do a year-end reflection. And if anything that I just rambled off resonates with you, then absolutely grab onto those questions. But I'm doing it a little bit differently than I've done it in the past. Trying something new, a little softer, if you will. So, number one, what surprised you this year? What surprised you? Surprise can reveal where your expectations were too small or where they were misaligned. So let it show you where your life nudged you towards something new. A lot of times, and I was just talking about this to a program member the other day, that I used to see these surprises as maybe an indication that I was on the wrong path, right? Like I'm doing something and then these little things would go wrong. And then I think, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. This is signs from the universe. I'm not supposed to do this. And actually, what I've discovered is if we get comfortable being uncomfortable, these quote unquote little things that surprise us or obstacles in our way or things that come up are opportunities and often an indication that I'm on the right path, But as this question is prompting, but does it mean that does it mean I'm misaligned? Does it mean my expectations were too small? Or does it mean that I'm being given an opportunity? Life is nudging me towards something that is new to me. And so I want to find reasons to say that these obstacles mean I'm on the wrong path. So again, it could be misalignment. It could be your expectations were too small. It could also be, oh, life is actually testing me. It's nudging me towards getting out of my comfort zone. So there's a few ways to look at this. What surprised you? Checking where you're at with your path. Were you given nudges towards something that surprised you? Did you find that you hit your goal way too easily, which comes back to that, maybe your goal was too small. I'll use the example when I say like of being on the right path or thinking obstacles mean you're on the wrong path. When I tried to conceive my daughter, as many of you know, I thought it was going to be fine. I thought it was going to be easy, but I'd waited. I was in my 40s and I had 3 miscarriages. This was actually surprising to me. The journey that I ended up going on to bring my daughter into the world was a huge surprise to me. That particular surprise did not reveal that my expectations were too small. It had nothing to do with that. And I could have interpreted it as meaning I was misaligned, that I wasn't supposed to have another baby. But it actually was showing me, life was nudging me toward opening myself up to a different way and trusting my gut that I was supposed to bring in another soul. I was supposed to have another child, but maybe not in the way I expected. So what surprised you? Maybe you were more resilient than you thought. Maybe you let go of something that was long overdue. Maybe you handled something with more grace or more honesty than you ever have. So I'm giving you a lot of different directions that this question could go to just help you unearth what surprised you this year. In a good way, if we're going to judge it, in a bad way, but what did you learn from that surprise? What was the message with that? Okay, second question. What did you become stronger at without even trying? Maybe it's what you walked through that changed you, right? Not those fancy achievements, but the subtle changes, the subtle growth, the subtle evolution, the parts of you that stretched because they had to. There's always something, a challenge, a shift, a loss, a new beginning. What experience carved some wisdom into you this year? Where did you grow up a little? Where did you soften? A lot of times I'm giving you all information, but I'm also hoping that you just take pieces of it and that you stay soft, that you don't judge yourself, that you come out of shame and resistance. Sit with that one for a bit, right? Where did you become stronger without even trying? And you can throw in the where you became stronger with trying. Did you get stronger with your workouts? Did you set an intention last year to face confrontation with more ease, with more grace? So feel free to delve into that as well. The areas where you became stronger without even trying, and the areas where you were really intentional and you progressed in your workouts or your habits, etc. Number 3, what did you learn about your capacity? Maybe you handled more than you thought you could. Maybe you learned where your boundaries needed reinforcement. Both of these are wisdom, right? Where did you learn to trust yourself more deeply? And I want to add on, when we look at capacity and what did you learn about your capacity, where did you learn to trust yourself more deeply? A branch of that is also, what did you learn about you and your energy? This is powerful because this is where we thrive. Where do you burn out? Right? Looking at boundaries, where do you burn out? Where do you thrive? Who brings out your brightest self, your best self? And who or what brings about a whispering from your nervous system that says, no, no. And what did you learn? What did this year teach you about what you need to feel well? What do you need to feel well? That you either needed to strengthen, that you weren't incorporating, that you're now incorporating. So, because our capacity is directly related to understanding ourselves and our energy, where we need boundaries, where we thrive, who we thrive with, who, we get those gentle whisperings of like, nope, this person's not in my highest good, and learning the lessons about what we need to feel well. All right. Now, on the flip side of this, question number 4, what no longer fits you? What no longer fits you? And we're going to go into what to release in the second part of this reflection exercise. But let's look right now, because when we learn about our capacity, when we learn about ourselves, when we learn about our energy, we also inherently learn what doesn't fit us. A habit, a belief, a way of operating, certain people in our lives, a version of you that doesn't match who you are now. You've grown this year. You have. And this is about recognizing that and looking at it. So what version of you doesn't match who you are now? That's the issue with family. That's an interesting thing around the holidays, right? Because we grow, we evolve, we're hopefully better versions of ourselves, and we get around family, and they still see us as the old version. And we do this to them too. We hold them in an old version, but maybe they've grown. Maybe they've changed. Now, some people don't, right? And you feel like, no, they don't, they never will. But if you have, they will still likely see you as the old version. And that's okay. Just let it go and keep showing up. But that's where we learn how deep we've gotten into our new self when we get with family, and then we get triggered, and then the old self comes up, right? So what's the old version? Like a snake, are you ready to shed even more and really anchor in those pieces? Okay, number 5, what are you proud of that nobody else knows about? Inner wins count. I think they count more than the outer ones, really. The outer ones come and go. Those are just circumstances. The inner wins, those are integrations. Those are deep. So honor those private wins. Honor those private victories. What are you most proud of that no one else knows about? And again, feel free to list what you're proud of that people maybe do know about. That's fine too. Let's celebrate what you're proud of and the growth that you've had, because sometimes we need those reminders, right? Where we get lost in the maybe I'm not good enough or all the things that we could be doing. Celebrate those wins. What were your greatest achievements? What are you most proud of? But don't neglect to look at those inner ones that nobody knows about. Same idea. What did you create What did you create, even if nobody else knew? You didn't get the accolades, you didn't get the applause, but you know you created it, a habit, a boundary, a healthier pattern, a more authentic version of you. I've been working really hard over the last few years on like the most authentic version of myself. And so I'm sure I offend more people, probably shock some people, but then they're not my people, right? I always tell people, like, if you're offended that I swear sometimes, first of all, life is too short to be so easily offended, in my opinion. I used to be so easily offended in my 20s. I was so righteous. And now I just really try to feel into people's hearts and focus on, the light that we all have. But I'm sure that I offend, more people, and that's fine. Be that more authentic version of you, because it's very freeing and it's very wonderful. So when you look at what you created, not every win is like a firework. Not every win is loud. Not every accomplishment shows up on Instagram. And that's where we get into that comparison mode of like looking at people's social media and they're just sharing their wins. They're probably not sharing those darker moments. I mean, some people do. Most of what happens in my life doesn't show up on social media. And sometimes I'd like to share, but I just like can't be bothered by it. Like, that's not a priority to me to take the time to share. I'm not trying to hide the bad stuff, or the good stuff. It's just, taking the time to put it on there. I'm just really focused on my life. But so what did you quietly create this year that deserves to be honored? All right. And hold that and feel that accomplishment. That's those inner wins, right? Now, as I said earlier, I talk a lot about growth in my podcast and how can we incorporate another pillar and how can we improve our nutrition, our mindset, our sleep, etc. But we've got to do this with a certain gentleness. So question number 6 for you is, what softened you? Because I hope even in all of the information I try to share and the growth and the gratitude and things that we can bring in, that you're hearing the continual message of letting go, of allowing, of honoring yourself, of not pushing, of not forcing, and of not being so dang hard on yourself, let go of the shame, let go of the guilt. So what softened you this year? Where did you surrender control? And if you didn't, where can you? Where did you allow instead of force? When we let go, magic happens. Oh, when we allow, that's where the magic is. Where did you choose compassion over pressure? You did it somewhere. Maybe not as much as you wanted, but where did you choose compassion over pressure? And finally, in this first section, what did this year prepare you for? What did this year prepare you for? Every lesson has a trajectory. Every lesson is there for us as an opportunity, as a path. Every failure leads to success, leads to freedom if we can change our perspective on it and learn. So what did this year prepare you for? Because this question reveals your next step. Without pressure, but reveals your next step. I was listening to Mary Morrissey recently, and she was talking about when we're in confusion. And she said, the soul is never confused. The soul is never confused. So when we're in confusion, we are actually, and I'm paraphrasing, we know what we need to do. We know what the next step is, but we don't want that to be true. And I loved that, because I think that's really it. The confusion is like, oh no, is this really what the universe is and spirit is calling me to do? And our old paradigm is fighting it. And so if we really just clear and relax, there's no confusion. We know what's right. When we invest our time or our money into personal development, into health, into wellness, there can feel like there's a confusion that comes in about moving forward with that, but it's only because you're scared to do it. I really think that she's right on that. It's only because, I've never invested in my health. I'm used to just my $30 copay. Oh, I've never invested and I'm scared I'm going to fail. I don't know if I'll make time to prioritize me because I'm used to putting everybody else first. It's not confusion. It's often fear from what the soul is leading us towards. So what did this year prepare you for? And can you see where this is the next step? All right. This question reveals the next step, not with pressure, but you can go into confusion. You can go into procrastination. You can go into pressure, or you can go into trust and allowing and excitement over the next step, which is leading you towards the freedom that you seek one way or another. Okay. I think this is the last part. I think we're going to do one more part after this. What are you releasing? What are you releasing? You are not meant to carry the whole year forward, right? You're not meant to carry it all. You've been accumulating stuff in your backpack. You've been getting rid of some stuff. What do we still need to get rid of? What are you ready to release before you cross into the new year? So some ideas. Let go of the stories that no longer match your identity. The fear that didn't protect you. Fear doesn't protect us. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck. The self-judgment that served only as friction. It only served as more pressure, more shame, more guilt. The urgency that drained you. Now, I'm big on urgency in a positive way, but not in a chicken with its head cut off. All right. What is the urgency where you feel like you're just putting out fires, that drained you? The expectations that were never yours. This is a good one for a lot of you. The expectations that were never yours. Just let them go. We're not here to please other people. We have our own relationship with our higher self, with God, with spirit. That's when you can live your purpose. And then the shame, the guilt. All right, release what feels heavy. Release what feels expired. Think of like you've got a bunch of supplements and they're all expired, right? You've got food that's expired. You have beliefs that are expired. You have a story that's expired. You have fear that's been running the show. Just let it. It's done. Release what's done. Just let it go. Release that version of you that you've outgrown. Other people might be holding you to it, but you've outgrown it. And it's not about them, it's about you. And then when you're looking at these various things, maybe you're not sure. So let them rise up. Let them rise up. You don't have to solve it today. Just name it. Because sometimes we're like, how do I release it? How do I let go? And it's like easy to go, surrender, just let go. But just let it kind of get named. You don't have to solve it today, but once we're aware, that's the first step. That's the first step towards letting it go. All right, let's just integrate what we've gone through so far for a moment. Take another breath. Notice how it feels to see your year this way. Through your growth, through your revelations, not through gaps, but through growth, through opportunity, through neutral reflection, to be able to look neutrally, not with judgment, through wisdom. To me, that's the opposite of self-judgment, right? You're looking through a lens of wisdom, just looking at the information, allowing, not self-judging. You celebrate those wins, you look at those accomplishments, you remind yourself of the resilience and all of these things that you've achieved, inner or outer. And then you look at what you can release, not with judgment, but with wisdom. What can I release? Okay, so now we've got our backpack on, we've released a whole bunch of stuff. Take the backpack off, release that too. And let's look at what you're keeping. Let's look at what you're keeping. All right, now we're gonna shift into gratitude, not performance-based, just soft gratitude. This is about what life is asking of you next. What is it asking of you next? We're not going to get into goals yet. We're going to have a really exciting, awesome end of year session next time. But right now, I want you to name 3 qualities, 3 skills, and 3 inner shifts that you want to bring into the new year. Okay, 3 qualities. 3 skills, 3 inner shifts that you want to bring into the new year. So these are not goals yet. These are not outcomes. These are qualities. Is it more alignment? Is it more joy? Is it more courage? Is it more truth? Is it more authenticity? More peace? More boldness? What energy feels like the next right chapter? Again, you might really be seeking peace. That might be the one. Or you might need to be braver and more bold. What is the next iteration of you and the life that you want to live for yourself and your family calling out? What qualities, what skills, what inner shifts? Right? These can also be like identity-based behaviors, self-image pieces. I'm confident. I'm calm. I'm bold. I'm a true leader. What energy feels like the next right chapter? Who you became this year matters more than anything you checked off a list. And goals, we're going to get into goals. I'm big on goals, but goals are not about the thing. They're about who you have to become to get there. What you have to let go of, what you have to embrace, who you have to be to achieve that dream. That's what it's about. It's not even about the destination. It's about the evolution to get there. And so these pieces that we just went through, these are the foundation for your next evolution. All right. So in closing, we're going to do like a clear closing ritual, if you will. All right. So grateful you all are with me here. As you move into the last days of this year, give yourself credit. All right, again, give yourself credit. The invisible work counts. The quiet healing counts. The showing up when it was hard counts. The grief that you survived counts. The choosing yourself even once counts. Was it one more than in the past? So progress isn't always obvious. And as I've said in the past, like we want to, have this bigger version of ourselves and this version of the thriving life that we want. But let's measure ourselves from where we've come, not from where you're going. If you measure from where you're going, there's always a gap and you're never there. But if you measure with how far you've come, it's an evolution, right? Success isn't always the end of the marathon, woo, cheering on. It's an evolution, but it's there, right? It may not be obvious, but it's there and it's real. It's real. Okay. So unless you're driving, put your hand over your heart and really feel into your gratitude and acknowledge, in your mind, or you could even say aloud, acknowledge this year was for me. It happened for me. This year shaped me. This year strengthened me. This year prepared me. And I am carrying forward only what aligns with my highest self. I am carrying forward only what aligns with who I am becoming. I am carrying forward only what aligns with who I truly am. And take one more breath. Your higher self, your soul, is communicating with you. It is saying, let me out. Who you are, who you truly are. So you are stepping into the final days of the year, clearer, lighter, and more aligned than ever before. And whatever other feelings and affirmations, like pause the episode or when it's done, keep your hand on your heart. Those I am statements are powerful. My mentor talks about how careless we are with our I am statements. The I that we use is connected to source, is connected to the I of the infinite. So be deliberate with your I ams. Let's not carelessly use the I ams to reinforce the negative patterns, but rather the powerful I am statements of who you truly are. Okay, so next week, our final episode of the year, we are going to step into activation. We are going to take this clarity and we are going to turn it into momentum, identity, and intention for 2026. It is going to be one of the most powerful episodes that we've done. But today, let this be enough, all right? You grew this year. You did work this year. You evolved this year. And you are ready, more ready than you even realize, for your next chapter. And plus, we're always going to feel like we're not ready, and that's when we should step into things. Who's really ready to have a kid? We might want it really badly, but we're not really ready, and we step into it, or whatever. That's just an example that came to my mind. But you are more ready than you even realize for your next chapter. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart for spending this year with me, for trusting me to walk alongside you with your health, your healing, your becoming your highest self, your thriving self. And I will see you in next week's episode, our last episode of the year, where we are going to set your energy-based intentions for a powerful start to January. But until then, be gentle, be loving, and be willing to reflect neutrally. Let go and see who you're becoming and who you really are. Thank you so, so much. Happiest of holidays, whatever you celebrate, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uplevel, Real Health, Real Talk. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take the next step in your health journey. One that nourishes not just your body, but your mind and spirit as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you found value in today's episode, please leave a review. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep thriving. And remember, true wellness is a journey, and you are on the right path.